Hello everybody, my name's Llama Joe and welcome to my channel. We are back with the letter. Alright, I swear we're really close to finishing up with Marianne, so let's do this. Mumbling a sleepy thanks, I doze off on the spot, face pressed on the counter. Already I dread the pain I'll have for sleeping in such a position. But when you gotta go, you gotta go. Oh, not.
Oh, Marianne! How long have you been standing there, dearie?
Come join us, Marianne. We won't bite. Unless you ask, that is.
Not that I can get much sleep to begin with. Oh. Okay. Skip for another 2 days. So I guess that final entry in the 26th wasn't with Marianne, so. Do people ever have the feeling that they're working on something that they really enjoy, but still it eventually tires them out? Because honestly, I've been feeling like this.
You have certainly exceeded expectations, Marianne. Everything looks so marvelous, and in such a short time, too.
This is the last time we do with Marianne with Hannah, so... Although I think she runs into Isabella during this point. Though moments like these make all the hard work worth it. Definitely.
Well, I can't take all the credit. People have certainly been enthusiastic about the idea of working on the Wright mansion. There won't be any more problems unless Mr. Wright has any more objections about the second bedroom.
Oh, no. We proceed with that room as planned. I already agreed to him having his greenhouse and his vineyard and his stables. He may as well let me have this one thing.
We're only about halfway done, but the honest satisfaction on the client's face is enough for me to push through. Let's face it, in between my exasperation at Mr. Wright's antics and her, I've been burning the candles at both ends. I can't even close my eyes without seeing a dead girl's face. Dead girl. Dead. She's dead. I have to keep reminding myself that, burying my feelings as deep as they buried her body, 6 feet under. I shouldn't waste so much time on someone who's supposed to be gone. I wasted so many years thinking about her already. There should be no need to bother myself with the dead when I should be bothering myself with the living. Too bad the living are usually as complicated, if not more, than ghosts of the past.
But don't you have a party?
Yes. But Luke's just being a sweetie, you see. That friend he's visiting.
So we're gonna go through this again.
He's having marital problems, and he's just trying to cheer him up.
It's even more complicated when the living in question is a pair of rich and famous socialites way past their honeymoon phase. And I've been somehow roped into being a relationship counselor.
They've been married for a long time, and they've hit a... how do they say it? A rough patch. His wife has a drinking problem and can be very neglectful. The poor thing really does his best to be a good husband. But it's never enough for her. Sometimes I think it's the years. Maybe it's been so long that they've lost that romantic spark.
I'm really tempted to skip through all this.
What do you think?
If I'm going to be completely honest, I need to ask. This is about you and Mr. Wright, isn't it?
Suppose it is. What would you tell me?
Then, I tell you it's none of my business. I tell you that I don't want to meddle. But if the troubled husband with the neglectful wife asked me for my honest opinion, I'd say that he shouldn't base his happiness and his self-worth on someone else. Maybe he should try being independent for a while. See what it's like when he isn't trying to please someone else and doing things for himself. Everyone's supposed to be their own man or woman, right? A bit of breathing room never hurt anyone. We shouldn't let our fear control our lives.
Why she thinks a single woman like me would be the best sorts of relationship advice is beyond me. Still, I talk and try to answer for the best of my abilities. Without realizing, I'm already pouring out a part of me that I had thought were long gone. I like to believe my words will be of some help to Mrs. Wright. If I'm honest, though, they are some help to me, like some weight have been taken off of my shoulders. Lorraine.
I really should handle what's left of the work.
You won't be attending the party? Oh, you really must, Marianne.
The weight of what happened to her hasn't left me yet, did it? Maybe.
I'll try to stay and chat. Maybe grab a few bites and a drink, but I can't be around for the entirety of the event. My apologies. Busy.
You must stay a while. I'd love for you to meet some of my friends, and they're ever so excited to meet you. You need to say hello to the Lees, at least. If it wasn't for them, I'd never even heard of you.
Maybe it's about time I changed
We'll
that.
see. So, if I can be excused?
Certainly. You'll have to excuse me as well. I must attend to the party before any early birds arrive. Because, believe me, they will throw a fuss if things aren't ready, even when they're not supposed to be here until an hour later.
Though I shouldn't dwell on the dead. I shouldn't just callously forget about them, too. Saying that I have work left to do is an easy enough excuse to make. I know how other people see me. They see someone so obsessed with her craft that she would so easily miss things like a party for it. Outside the parlor, people hurry about here and there in preparation for the Wrights' grand housewarming party. None spare me a glance as I slip past them, each working on their appointed roles and not daring to slack off while they work for what is probably the most powerful couple in Luxburn. Oh no. No, negative. Nope. I make it into the kitchen with ease, the wine cellar being my final destination. But when is a great task ever simple? Probably never. And this is a great task, isn't it? My greatest one yet that is worthy of being called a quest. I'm not acting as Marianne McCullough, the professional interior designer, when I chose to lie about being too busy for a party. I'm Marianne McCullough, a lawful neutral cleric with 9 points in wisdom and 8 in charisma. Just thinking of it like that makes it a bit cheesy, but it helps with the fear. It helps overcome the insane thought that I'm actively seeking out something that has been plaguing me for years. I might face my worst nightmare, or I might see nothing and find my self-imagined grand quest fall flat. And who would have thought that the gatekeeper to my final quest would be someone I thought would be a valuable ally.
Snails. We are on a deadline and you are wasting my time.
The butler comes from the cellar and into the kitchen, tailed by a couple of others, people who I assume are most likely chefs and bartenders. He raises a brow, seeing me just standing there by the hatch, by the trapdoor. It almost looks like he's going to throw me out for being in the kitchen without permission. But then he motions for the others to disperse and familiarize themselves with their surroundings. Meanwhile, he continues to stand there, preventing entry into the darkness beyond.
What are you doing here, Fraulein? This is not the place for guests or in an architect right now. I request you leave.
I was just looking around for any last-minute things, yes?
Yes, you have been doing that a lot. Looking around, snooping about. Now is not the time for such things. If you're not careful, people might think you are up to something.
The look he gives me as he says this is almost chilling. If life was a game book, he'd probably be the true neutral warlock guarding the treasure room. A difficult opponent to beat with 9 points in wisdom and 8 in dexterity.
Well, I'm not done yet. I actually need to go into the wine cellar. Just need a quick go at the place. So just don't mind me. I'll be out of your hair soon enough.
Go outside, enjoy the party. Bask in the praise and adulation they will no doubt shower you with when the madam speaks highly of you. Surely you've had enough of this stuffy old kitchen by now. You do not want to cause trouble. Both the bratwurst and Hannah want this to be perfect. It would be a disservice and a disrespect to toe out of line and risk it being anything otherwise. And more importantly, I will be blamed for any failure that happens tonight.
His intervention almost turns me away. Maybe this is a sign I'm not meant to seek Lorraine out. Oh no. But
Please, it's really important.
15 minutes. 9, 10 minutes. Any longer and I'll pull you out of there myself. The bratwurst will be furious if he thinks anyone is touching his precious wine without his permission.
Thank you. This seriously means a lot.
he steps aside begrudgingly. At this point, it looks like there's no turning back. The cellar greets me ominously as I descend. The space feels smaller, with a lot more bottles lining the wall compared to before, and knowing what might be waiting for me here makes things worse. I'm getting texted a lot, and it's really making me angry. The mirror that had been moved from the study is my goal. I did not return to it after my initial discovery, but the thought of Lorraine, how much I want to see her again, even if it's just one more time, keeps coming back to mind. As I walk through the cellar, I have to stop when I feel something crunch beneath my feet. Uh-oh. Whatever few bottles were left behind here are now nothing but glass under my heels. Perhaps dropped by one of the many chefs and bartenders the butler had escorted through here before. And it made a downright mess with red slick... Oh my, stop texting me, please! With red slick pooling from the remnants of a good drink. With how dark this place is, a person with a dark enough imagination can easily mistake it for blood. I can't help but think it is, despite the easy logical explanation that had come to my mind only because of what I'm about to do. It's merely a momentary distraction as I continue to the end of the cellar where the mirror stands. Propped up on the far wall, it gleams innocently while pretending to be a simple and ordinary mirror. How morbid to think this thing can show a person their deepest, most desperate desires and then twist it to an image so dark. That's what I had seen that day. Though I heard Lorraine many times, I had only seen her within its frame. I wonder if people have discovered it before. How many were wasted away in front of it, enamored, and how many were frightened away by what they saw? And as I stand before it now, nothing. I can barely see my own reflection in this darkness.
How does this even work? Mirror, mirror on the wall? Something? Anything?
Nothing. Touching its surface doesn't make it magically activate or anything like that. There's no sudden surge of power, and I'm not suddenly granted sight. It stays what it is, a mirror. Was Lorraine's appearance in the mirror all some sort of fever dream? Am I really that burned with guilt and despair that my mind would eat itself in stress and have me hallucinate such things? Either way, just going here on some crazed obsession for a girl long ago must warrant me to a trip to a doctor. Sorry. Already, I feel ill. After a few more minutes, in the hopes that something would change, I turn around to leave. I can just go back upstairs like nothing ever happened. Perhaps drop by the party for some hors d'oeuvre, then go home and collect myself. Besides, Mrs. Wright is expecting me, and I'm
Going to leave me again then, are you?
I stop in my tracks, but I don't turn back. As much as it pains me, I don't look back. If I'm just hearing her again, desperately delusional, and I look back to see nothing, I don't want to give myself false hope. But when I feel fingers around my wrist pull at me, I look back in shock. My first thought is, how in God's name is this possible? And the second is, Lorraine. Her hands are cold.
Are you that mad at me that you're just going to ignore me, Marianne?
I don't know what to say, and I can only stare at her and wonder. She stands there in the mirror with only her arm extended outward for my sake. I look at the hand still holding my wrist, and when she sees me looking at it, she moves so that our hands are intertwined, fingers weave together. Seeing her there and feeling her touch meant I'm not crazy, however impossible and unexplainable this is to me right now. It just takes my breath away. Pulling her out of from there is tempting. I can imagine doing so with ease. We could be together again, Lorraine and Marianne, like nothing had ever happened. But that would be a great big lie, wouldn't it?
What? Tack out your tongue? Don't just look at me like that. Say something.
Even if this thing were some magical portal that could bring back the dead, that doesn't erase anything. Just looking at her, still a young teenager while I'm already a grown woman, serves no other reason than to break the illusion that blinds me. I've seen her twice now, always behind the mirror. If this is real, if this isn't some delusion, then why could she only exist behind the glass?
Yeah. You have no idea how happy I am to see you. It's been so long.
You don't look happy.
I really am happy. But at the same time, I can't help but think about what happened. To you.
And what does that mean? What are you saying?
She gives me this peculiar look. And before my eyes, she moves to step out of the mirror. In turn, I wrench my hand from her and take a step back, almost as if I'm afraid.
I don't know how this is possible. But whatever this is, it isn't real. You can't be real.
I'm right here, aren't I? What other proof do you need?
No. I see you. I hear you. I feel you. But even with all that, you can't be real. You just can't. I saw your body. I helped bury you. You're dead.
A deep hurt crosses her face, and it just breaks my heart in two, seeing her wear that expression.
Burying me wasn't the only thing you did. Don't you dare lie. But I'm going to be the bigger woman, aren't I? Let bygones be bygones. I'll forgive you, as long as you stay with me, Marianne. That's why you came down here, right? To find me?
To move on. That was the plan. I came down here looking for her, for closure. But this isn't just closure, this is something else entirely. I didn't think I'd be forced to make such a choice. I need to move on, I want to stay. Do I leave her or do I stay? No, you need to move on. And if you stay, she'll drag you in the mirror and you'll die, so. And they already changed the tone of music. Like, you already know it's gonna happen. Closure. That's all I came here for. Whatever this is, it might as well be all just a devil's trick. And I might as well make some use of it, right? I say nothing at first for fear of angering whatever phantom this is. I take Lorraine's hand and bring it up to my lips, pressing a kiss to her knuckles. She takes it as some sort of invitation to pull me along, to step back in the mirror, until only her arm is extended again.
I should have been more honest back then, both to you and myself. I know it's too late. I'm sorry. But
but the thought of being with the dead did not agree with me, not one bit.
I can't stay with you.
So what? You're going to leave me for some old trophy wife? That's it, isn't it? You're going to leave poor Amy Lorraine and go after the next rich, pretty blonde that you see.
This is a mistake.
All these years, guilt has been my driving force. I felt so guilty for what I did, what I didn't do.
She thinks she can guilt me into being complacent, but she realizes otherwise as I pull my hand from her. And going by the look of anger on her face, an anger that runs cold, she did not like the fact that I'm not some puppet on a string. Had she chosen her words carefully, I would have accepted whatever punishment Lorraine chooses to give me. Guilt had ran my life, and it might have very well ended it, because I deserved it.
But what I did to me. The blood in my hands is mine, not yours.
Whoever or whatever the shadow is, my gut tells me she's not Lorraine. Yet I keep talking as if she is.
I broke your heart, not your neck.
Don't you dare deny it! It was your fault!
Because I loved you more than I dare to admit? Yes, that was my fault. But I never meant to hurt you like that.
Despite my words, no matter how sincere they are, she appears angry, enraged in fact. It's been years since I last saw that face, and even now, the memory of it is still etched deeply in my mind. The hurt, the tears, and the hate spilling from her eyes that day, the moment I rejected her. Rejected myself for who I am. And she definitely will hate what I'm about to do next. To my left, a wine rack. And from there, I take a bottle and pray to all the saints I can remember. For all my sins. For every hurtful word I've uttered. For what I have driven her to do that day, what I forced her into.
What are you doing?
I do it without thinking twice. Quickly, before I can hesitate, I grab a bottle and set it straight towards the mirror. Fuck. Shards of the bottle and the mirror are sent flying everywhere as Lorraine screams, echoes in the cellar. Bitter. Searing, like every wounding accusation she hurled at me. They've never left me. I doubt they ever will. But with this, I can move away from them, from her. Live my life as I should, free from the burden. Her burden. Because the Lorraine I know, the real one, the person I loved, will never want me carrying this to my death. As the screaming dies down, I can't help but mutter weakly.
It's done. It's done. Oh, Lorraine. Forgive me, Lorraine.
Get out of there. I take some time to compose myself, breathing in and out, stamping down on the tremors still wracking my hands, straightening out my jackets and fixing my hair. All a weak attempt at returning myself to someone resembling my normal self. This will probably be easier to do with a mirror, but I likely won't be able to stand looking at one for a long time.
Well now, I should probably go back up there. Party to attend, rich socialites to do business with, and food to eat. Mrs. Wright will be happy if I make some time for it anyway.
Yet one last time to the shattered glass beneath my feet.
I'm sorry, Lorraine. May you see God's light on the path.
God, motherfucker. Okay. Turning around to leave, and for the good this time, the uneasy smile on my face falls as I see Lorraine whole and well.
Come on, Mac. You really didn't think it would be that easy, did you? You get bonus points for trying.
Run out of that wine, so run now.
You should know an 8 in charisma is not enough to turn undead.
Ooh. She advances towards me, backs me against the wall. I can't even reach for another wine bottle without putting myself within her reach. Despite my earlier bravado, I didn't think she'll be able to exist at all without the mirror. Can you blame me, though? It's not like I'm an expert on the supernatural.
That's not... You shouldn't be...
What? After the mirror? Did you think just moving on will erase what you did to me? You're nothing but a murderer, Marianne. A murderer!
Stay back. You're not real. Leave me alone.
Sorry, guys, this is going on longer than I intended, but I think this is the end of Marianne's chapter, so...
Stop! I'm trying to move on with my life, so why won't you let me? Please! Just get out of my head and leave me be!
I try to find an exit when there's a click. Then the next thing I know, I'm falling back into darkness. Okay, no, we're so close. No, we're finishing this. I'm sorry. We're gonna go way past, but whatever. I fall on my back and a door slams shut behind me. Okay, journal 28. Despite to deal with her painful past, Mary McCulloch excused herself from attending her housewarming party to search for Amy Lorraine with the mansion, seeing her ghost in the wine cellar. However, a realization hits her and she finally let go. Okay, cool. In a daze, I look around warily and find myself in another room entirely. On the other end of the wall, some sort of secret passage perhaps. An underground tunnel that has me wary and frightened. It also proves that the oddities in the mansion's floor plans are a lot more than just a little discrepancies. I expect Lorraine to jump out at me from the darkness at any time. A breeze blowing through the tunnel has me relieved, though, at the idea that there's still a way to escape should that happen. That is way better than being trapped underground with only God knows what that was. A funny thought comes to mind as I start walking to where the exit might be. I think about how Mrs. Wright would be so disappointed if I didn't show up to the party. I imagine how furious Mr. Wright would be for breaking one of his wine bottles. Even Joann's reaction comes to mind, though I don't really know with that guy. One thing's for sure is that I would be calling Cam and Haruna for a drink as soon as I get out of here. That noise has me wary. A ghastly thing, a corpse of a woman, leans on the wall. Her arms and limbs, almost every inch of her lithe body, is peppered with wounds and rotting flesh. And it is then that the putrid smell of blood and gore hits me, making it so that I don't even question how I missed it in the first place.
How long has this been here? Oh, that smell. Oh, you're a nasty one, aren't you?
I flinch as the thing twitches. And as soon as it opens its eyes and looks at me with a smile, there's nothing on my mind but horror. I break into a run. Do I have to do some, like, button shit again? I try to keep on running no matter how much my legs and feet scream at me to stop. I keep going even when I look back and see nothing of her anymore because I can still hear her. The scampering of her feet, the words she tries to form with her bloodied mouth, and the painful sounds of bones grinding against each other as she moves closer and closer to me.
How long are these damn tunnels?
There's a split second where I know that thing is right behind me. A strange sensation creeping over my limbs when her presence looms over me. And then suddenly, I can't do anything before I'm yanked by the hair and pulled back. Still, I struggle up until I'm thrown to the side like some rag doll. I hit the ground on my side, and the musty smell of old hay that reaches me is only my indication that I'm still alive.
Please don't hurt me.
My body hurts, and I keep my eyes shut tight, afraid of what might happen
What's
next.
wrong, Marianne? Are you really afraid of little old me?
There's only dread, seeing how she's followed me even here. She looms over me, backs me further into the cell that I was thrown in.
Please. It's so cold. I don't want to be alone, Marianne. Why won't you stay with me? Why would you leave me? Why?
What are you?
What is that? Lorraine turns and shifts into that thing from before. And with that same gruesome grin, it takes a step forward towards the cell. Towards me. I barely scrambled on my knees when the door to the cell slams shut and it just stands there, staring. Shouts for help ring out in the tunnels, but none of them are coming from me. I'm more paralyzed and shocked by what is happening. My throat tightens at being fooled by the image of Lorraine and the thought of being trapped down here. So then where?
Help me! Help me! Oh, help me! Are you getting all this on camera, Carl? Yeah, but are you guys sure this is a good idea? We're breaking and entering here. Don't worry, the owners of this place haven't been here in a long time. Look at this thing, though. It has writing in blood like some cheesy 80s horror prop. Wait, I have an idea. Oh man, that's genius!
What kind of butthead would even take this thing seriously? Maybe we can stick this in Rowan's backpack. Then Suarez kid would panic.
No!
Guys? What? Spit it out! Behind you!
There in the corner of the cell. Oh, she straight killed them all. There in the corner of the cell, a digital camera comes flickering to life and a video is played back on the screen. It was so hard to even consider paying any attention to it when my life is on the line. But when the ghost doesn't move and the teenagers' mocking shouts of "help me" filled the cell, I just had to watch. And what I had seen, students, judging by their St. Goretti uniforms, they were holding...
Letter.
And that thing, the woman, she... Okay, so she is Lady Charlotte. While trying to escape the Phantom, disguising as her friend, Marianne discovered an underground prison hidden in the deepest corners of the mansion. Now trapped in one of its cells, she found a recording left behind by some of the mansion's victims. Alright. We're into there, guys. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, feel free to like, comment, subscribe, tell me what you like, tell me what you don't like, and I'll do the best I can to make it right. I'm Llama Joe, and I'll catch you guys later!